So each week, one member gets 8 minutes to share the group further insights into their business or enlighten the group a little bit more about themselves. Members can also use the time to problem solve or seek assistance and advice from the group as a collective. The time is yours to use as however you'd like. Misty, do you have some information for us on who it actually is? And
I 100% have someone in mind. Now, if you give me one moment to remove this, and then this person isn't aware of it, but since she's come back, I've been wanting this person to speak for a long time. So it's a woman.
all the men have gone,
Don't worry, I have a plan, Nancy. I have a plan. All right. So today we have the wonderful Nancy Cotten. Now, I've been networking with Nancy Cotten for, well, I'm going to say 4 years. It's probably not quite that long. I think we met over at HMP. We definitely are over at Michelle Cruz's Coffee Club. And you've been missing for a little while. I've managed to get here a few times. Sarah then got hold of you, which pulled you away again. So wonderful is Nancy that the moment someone meets her, they steal her. Anyhow, it's taken a while. I've gotten her back. I noticed that you were in last week, even though people thought I was missing. But I get in. I have a bit of a look around, and I did have my fingers crossed you'd be in today. So I'll tell you a little bit about Nancy. Nancy is from Fort Worth, Texas. She is an autism advocate, and she's a grandmother of I think it's one of the grandkids, at least one of the grandkids are on the autism spectrum, and so as a result of that, Nancy for years has been looking into ways to help this one who lives life differently to a lot of us live life easier, I suppose you could say it. So as a result, she's become an advocate for all kids on the spectrum because they just think differently and there's just a different way of living in there. So she turns up to business groups a lot. She speaks about this a lot into different groups. And I have been dying to have her come and speak to us. So Nancy, I'm going to make this really simple for you, right? So all I want to hear again, right, is I want you to start with your elevator pitch again, just to remind us what it is that you do. And I want you to give it, and I know in your elevator pitch, you say that you're an autism advocate. So I just want your version of your history as to how this came about. So tell us what you sell in your elevator pitch regarding helping kids with the autism spectrum. Give us a quick history as how you discovered this product and how it helps, and then stop. Because I promise after your elevator pitch and your quick history, we're going to have heaps of questions to ask you. And I really wanted you in as a like this way, rather than have you know in advance, was so that we can actually ask more questions than you can tell us in advance, because I'm sure that we have plenty. Okay. And with that, I'll let you take it away. Kathy's going to set a timer for 8 minutes. If you don't take that long, that's completely fine, because we have plenty of questions that are going to come out.
Great. Well, thank you, Misty. This is kind of crazy for me. Thank you for inviting me. I do help families who have children on the autism spectrum to lessen the chaos in their lives, because they do have a lot of chaos. I do sell a product that gets toxins out of their body so that they can actually, their bodies can actually work better. It's called Avini Health Cell Defender. And I discovered it only about, 18 months ago. It helps people with their health, but it also helps these children because it pulls all these toxins and heavy metals out of their brains and the rest of their body so that their brains can actually tell their body what to do. So many of them have problems with meltdowns. They have problems being potty trained. I have talked to so many families, and they are just beside themselves because they don't know what to do with their children. And doctors really don't know what to do either. They have very little help. And I have discovered several strategies, not just the one that I'm talking about today, but there are all kinds of frequency devices that people use. They use sound. there is a product called ASEA that can help. There's just all kinds of things that they don't know about. And so I am helping them discover what can help their children. And when they do use it for their children, they are just amazed, because these children that run, or maybe they stim a lot, they just go crazy, that's a way that they actually regulate themselves. But my background was actually in education, and I was a childcare director for over 23 years. And during that time, I had several children that came through our center, and I didn't know how to help them either. And that's when I began to go to conferences and learn all I could. I did a lot of research, read a lot of books, and was so honored when Sarah asked me to write the chapter on autism in her book, Our Forgotten Children. And just can't thank her enough for that opportunity. It's actually been opening some other doors for me, and that's exciting too. So the Cell Defender has something in it called zeolite, and most of you probably have never heard of zeolite, but it is a naturally occurring kind of a granular molecule in the earth. And it's been used for over 800 years for health in humans as well as animals. It was used in the Fukushima spill to help to get the nuclear waste out of the water. It was used also in the Chernobyl problem that they had in Ukraine many years ago. And people even then made bread out of it, so that they could actually get the toxins out of their bodies. And they took the urine and tested it, and sure enough, there was lots and lots of those toxins coming out. So I'm on a mission to help families to learn about this, to help their children to calm down and do the things that they need to do just to mitigate a lot of those problems. Just yesterday, I talked with a parent who has two children on the spectrum. One of them doesn't speak, and he runs. He has been brought back by police several times. They've called CPS on them. It's just so stressful for parents. And so many of these parents actually divorce because the stress is just so much. And so I have a passion to help them. I'm not able actually right now to help my own grandchild. He lives with the other grandparents. But I know that there's going to be a change in his life before too long, because those grandparents are very, very elderly and in very poor health. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to help him when he has that change in his life. I've been going to several of the support groups in Texas. I even had my own support group for a while, and those have helped a lot to help me know how to help him when that happens. And it's a matter of learning about what's out there for housing, for work, just all kinds of things. These parents need trust, because a lot of these children don't know how to deal with money. And so when the parents are gone, if they're left any money, they could go through it in just no time. So I've become a financial educator too, so that I can educate these parents about what they need to do so that they can plan for when they leave this world. And it's just become a real passion for me. I'm an older person here, probably the oldest one on this today, but I still have my health, because I'm taking Cell Defender too, and other things that help me to stay healthy. So I want to use these last years of my life to make a difference for families who have children on the spectrum, as well as helping others who want to be healthy. So I would love to have one-on-ones with any of you that would like to do that. And Misty, I guess I'll turn it back to you.
Yep,
Thanks.
excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nancy. All right, who has some questions for Nancy? Yep, Sarah.
Sorry, I have to go. I'm on grandchildren duty. It was an honor to have Nancy in the book. After talking with her, I realized what a contribution she would be giving. And, you know, the whole book about is when we're aware, we begin to care. And now we can start actually looking at what's wrong and how to put things right. And her contribution was absolutely wonderful. So also please listen to the podcast that she's done with me and the summit. And there's always a solution to something. It may not be a cure, but there's always a solution. And that willing to try various things of that can assist and help lessen and lessen the problem, but also increase the ability, because autism children are incredibly creative, wonderfully focused. And if we treat them with the same dignity and respect that we ask for, they will thrive and we will learn a lot from them. So thank you, Nancy, for the work that you do, and ciao, everybody.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Lois, I see your hand up. I'm just going to ask Helga first and then Lois, your second.
Yeah, hi, Nancy. So good to hear the work that you're doing. It's just so greatly needed in our world today. I'm interested in, you were saying that it's a buildup of toxins and getting rid of some of the toxins from the child's body can help. Are there particular toxins like that we're seeing are increased that's causing autism?
I don't know that there's particular ones. There's a lot of lead in children, mercury. So there's several heavy metals that are causing a lot of this, but there's also all kinds of things in our air, in our water, and in our food. And so we're bombarded with them every day, every single day. There's fires everywhere in the world, but we've had lots of them in the US. And whatever burns has a lot of toxins in it, and then it goes into the air and into our water. And so I can't tell you just specific ones. And let me just say this, all this does is get the toxins out. Your body then begins to work like it is supposed to work. So it doesn't cure anything, and definitely does not cure autism. The kiddos are still going to be on the spectrum, but this mitigates so much of the negative things that are going on in their body.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Lois, you had your hand up before, and then I'll ask Cynthia. You're on mute.
I'll make it quick. They didn't have the name I'm 72. They didn't have the name Spectrum when I was a kid, but they thought I was autistic. And then they switched it to Asperger's. And then at 22 years old, a structural psychologist realized I was a high-functioning savant. And so the thing that affected me the most, I'm telling you two things so I can offer some content. Biophilia and massive doses of negative ions. I know that seems somewhat obscure, but it's scientifically based. Biophilia is just sticking me around plants and animals endlessly. And negative ions, anybody can wiki that, negative ion therapy, ocean water, waterfalls, gardens, it just really just drowns whatever contributes to the spectrum in your brain and brings the functionality out. So if I'm around concrete or synthetic materials, I just go nuts. But if you keep me around plants, animals, and I live on Lake Ontario, like across the street. So I'm just bombarded consistently by negative ions. And, I'm wacky here, you can see it, but I'm pretty high functioning.
Definitely so.
Thank you, Lois. Cynthia, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to mention when Nancy was saying about the heavy metals, it does really affect how everyone's brain works. So something like zeolite, I know what that is. I've actually had it before. It actually grabs onto those heavy metals and helps you release it from your body. So it definitely helps. So I just want to offer that up. So it's a really great thing to help, especially people with autism, to function at their best.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you.
The zeolite has a cage-like molecule, and it traps the toxins and heavy metals inside of it, and then it just is excreted through the urine. And so it doesn't make those toxins get out into your organs and do damage to those.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's great
how
stuff.
do you have it? Is it a pill format? Is it a drink? How do you have it?
They're drops. They're just little drops in a dropper bottle. You take about 20 drops a day, 4 times. You take 5 drops 4 times a day, or 10 drops twice a day. And you can, it's tasteless. And so you can put it on food. You can put it in drinks. You can just drop it in your mouth. So it's very easy to give it to children who may have problems with eating anyway. And you can just put it in a drink and they never know it's there.
Yeah, right. And how much does it cost?
Retail is $75 for a 1-month supply of Cell Defender. You can get it cheaper than that if
No,
you
that's it.
get it
No,
monthly.
$75. That's all we need to know. Does that include shipping and taxes?
The shipping, I believe, I usually get more than just the one Cell Defender.
Okay.
And it's usually around $10, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you're looking about 85, and that'd be US dollars, right?
US.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thanks so much, Nancy. All right, Helga, you got your hand up?
Yeah, just for anyone that's interested, that's actually zeolite.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that. I don't know if you can see that clearly.
You're right.
I can.
Oh, it's a rock.
Yeah, I've just got it from my, oh, there we go, my thing of
There
crystals.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
an example of it's obviously it's a it's been smoothed out, so yeah. Raw form.
What the biochemist that made this stuff does is he micronizes it and cleans it really well, because when it comes out of the ground, it's very, very dirty, and it's generally it's granular, but it is a rock, yeah. And so he has a special way of doing this. It's a 3-day process, and nobody else does it that way. So if you see zeolite somewhere else in Amazon or whatever, that's not his, and it does not work like his because it doesn't go through that process.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Heather, I'm going to have you as the last person.
I just wanted to know, that's fascinating, and I just wanted to know in what countries it's available. I was just thinking of someone heading to the UK in a couple of weeks, and I was thinking of someone who might want it over there. So yeah, just wanted to know about global.
It is in the US and Canada right now. We're hoping to expand. I have sent it to other countries. I tried sending it to Thailand, and it worked the first time, but it did not the second they held it. So I don't know. I haven't sent it to the UK yet.
Yeah, thanks, Nancy.
I definitely could mail it there.
Thank you.
Yep. No, that's fair enough. Thank you. Great question. Good answer though, Nancy. Definitely in the US and Canada, and not completely global yet. Sounds like when Simon was on cigars for a year. He used to order them in from America. Sometimes it come through and sometimes it did not. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for being our speaker. I know that I put you on the spot, but I was determined to pin you down. It's fantastic. We have such a huge group that you get to speak to as well.
Absolutely.
So that's been fantastic. And thank you, audience, for participating and asking some great questions as well.